healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Hello and welcome to the Lady Journey, everybody. We are just chatting snacks over here, so don't mind us. But we want to welcome our beautiful guest, Kaneez Surka.
Hi.
Did I say your last name correctly?
Yes,
Surka.
you did. Thank
Kaneez
you.
Surka. She is an incredible comedian, a very talented performer, and she is here for us today. So welcome.
Thank you so
So
much.
excited to have you.
I'm very excited for this podcast.
Yes, we love it. And so we always start off our podcast. We love to welcome our Patreon members. We have got a couple people who are on a paid version of the journey, the subscriber journey. Thank you so much, and thank you, God. And please continue to like, subscribe, get on the Patreon.
We're really religious on
Yeah.
here.
Join our cult. And
now we will pray.
Yes. And of course, we do have the incredible gems that have been donated to us by Jacob Downey. Check out his YouTube channel, Jacob E. Downey, where he is sanding down gemstones, tumbling them, and, doing what have you. So look at this. How gorgeous. Champagne quartz.
It's really pretty.
Oh my God. This one is going out to Winstun. Winstun, thank you so much for joining the Patreon. This champagne quartz is going to help you ground higher spiritual ideas into physical reality. And we haven't had a stone like that before.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a new descriptor.
Yeah, I think it's like when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be more mindful. And then you make it happen.
Yes.
Which is my journey that I'm on. Thank you to Georgette, my therapist, who is not involved in the Patreon or the podcast. Hopefully.
Does she know we do this?
I have been talking about her a lot.
Okay.
And this would be a side of me completely different from the therapy
Yeah,
sessions where I'm like, my life is out of control.
No, you're like, I've been manifesting everything I've wanted through these crystals.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The crystals aren't working. Now the next stone dedication is going to Lucretia. Thank you so much, Lucretia, for joining the Patreon. We adore you. We're so thankful you're here. How gorgeous is this?
Beautiful.
I like that color one.
Amazonite.
That one.
Lovely color.
Yeah.
I love this
deep,
color. Oh my
bluish
gosh.
ocean color.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like a Caribbean. The Amazonite opens both the heart and throat chakra to enhance loving communication. Isn't that special? So hopefully you could end the fight with your boyfriend or girlfriend,
And
whomever.
open your throat chakra.
Yes.
In your throat chakra. Very
Yes.
important.
Open that throat.
Just open.
Hey,
So,
who wrote
I like
this
it.
description?
I know. Hey. I like it when we take the gym dedications to a filthy place.
To a porn.
Early. Now, so Kaneez and Sarah, you guys have something in common, which is that you were both born in South Africa.
Yes.
Where were you born?
I was born in Bryanston, or like a suburb outside of Johannesburg. Yes.
Oh, that's so cool.
And we still have a little bit of family there, but they've all immigrated to Australia,
Oh, yeah.
which seems to be usually the natural progression, because I think culturally it could be quite similar. Because coming to America, even though it is the English speaking and it was British colonized a little bit in the beginning,
Yeah.
it's quite different.
No, I think Australia is far closer.
Yeah.
America's so different to South African culture.
It is.
My brother actually just immigrated to Australia from Cape Town.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yeah, but also what I've heard, I don't know, but a lot of South Africans went to Australia and then came back to South Africa. Because
Oh,
they were
wow.
like,
Yeah.
actually, it's not as similar as we thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
so
I
I've
haven't
also
gone
heard
into
that
depth, but I remember talking to my
version.
cousins about it, and for some reason they weren't into the Australian woman.
Oh,
Well, I
yeah.
just remember he's like, they've all have cankles.
I love a
Kinkles?
random stereotype.
Just
Maybe
kinkles.
two people that they've met,
They
and
keep
I'm like,
saying a dingo ate their baby.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. Now, I actually took a
so
trip
cool.
to Australia with my grandmother when I was 14. We went there together. And we went to Brisbane to the koala sanctuary, which I thought was really exciting until we got there and there was a circle of people around a pair of not koalas, it was kangaroos that were mating, just taking photos in a circle. So that felt like a red flag to me that I was not in the safe space
yeah.
as a teenage girl. Then I went
That's
to
a
go.
really cool thing to take pictures of, though.
Yeah, I was like,
Kangaroos
nature.
mating?
and then like the other perverts across the circle, you know. And so then I went to go hold the koala, which was like, that was the whole reason I wanted to go to Australia, because I was like, I want to hold the koala. This is like this is the biggest moment of my life. I went to grasp it. First of all, it was scared. It was very scared. It started clawing. It immediately peed all over me. And then it started, and I have a photo, I will post it in the Patreon. It started clutching my 14-year-old tit, squeezing it. And so you can see in the photo, it's just a koala squeezing my tiny titty while I am smiling like this because it is shitting on me.
Yes.
So that was the highlight of my Australian experience. So love you, Mimi. Shout out.
Shame, the poor koala.
I know. He was just trying to hang on.
I know.
So wait, what part of South Africa were you from or born in?
I was born in the Transkei, which was like during apartheid. There were like different homelands, and the Transkei was one of the biggest homelands. Basically, a homeland was the South African government, the white government, tried to make these parts of these lands.
Townships kind of thing?
Well, just areas where black people could go and kind of live peacefully without being oppressed.
Yeah.
Like that was the idea.
Yeah.
So they had the like 7 homelands or 9 homelands, I forget, sorry. And then I lived in one of the biggest ones. I was born there in the Transkei, the Eastern Cape. And I was born, I lived there for 21 years.
21 years, and then where did you go from there?
Then I went to, I was in Nomtata, I was in the Transkei, then I went to school and university in a place called Grahamstown.
Okay.
And then I moved to India after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I went to India.
So how different was that for you?
So the thing is, my parents are from India.
Okay, so you did go back probably, right? Did you get to go back?
Phone? I'm so
No,
sorry.
we're over here.
Oh.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sarah's
so
husband
sorry.
is afraid of chicken right
you
now.
may have eaten bad chicken. We don't.
no.
At Chipotle. I'm
Yeah,
sure
we're
it's
monitoring the situation. So
Okay.
we'll let you know if we need to end the podcast.
And then I moved to America. Bye.
So first move to India. Yes, tell us
My parents
everything.
are originally from
Yeah.
India, and they moved to South Africa in '81 during apartheid, and so they would take us back to India every 2 years. So India was not like, it wasn't a culture shock for me going there. Like I was very familiar with the country and the culture and the place, but obviously moving to another country is always
Yeah, you get
Big
used
deal.
to and acclimated to certain things about
food and like we're just discussing like detergent and
Yes.
Yeah.
weather and climate, like all of that.
Yes. Well, I remember I lived in England for a few months, and I remember this was like 19, I think, before I was 21. And I just remember being like, things weren't readily available. Like you couldn't just go to a 24/7 Walmart to quickly pick up something.
Yeah.
Like things were closed on Sundays, or it was just, they had boundaries.
Right.
Where here in
Yeah,
America,
yeah.
we're like work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
India's even worse than America.
Is
Like,
it really?
Everything is available 24 hours
Wow.
a day. Like
Yeah.
it's insane.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, let's make as much money as we can.
yeah,
kind of
and there's
stuff.
just
Yeah.
so many people trying to like do it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
it's just, there's always going to be somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, but South Africa, I mean, India, moved from South Africa to India was also not. And also they're both Commonwealth countries.
Yeah.
They're both very influenced by the English culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was there.
It was there. But so when you were like, okay, packing up to move everything, huge move.
Yeah.
Huge move. Like, what do you take? What do you leave? Like, what is that process like?
Well, when I moved to India, from South Africa to India, the plan wasn't to move. I don't know. I was just like, I'm going on a gap year.
Yeah.
Oh, good
check
for
it
you.
out.
Yeah.
I was
21.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. You have your little suitcase. You know, it's like totally
Exactly.
different when you're in your like 30s and you're like, and I have everything on my back. Yeah.
No, I remember one thing I did was I was really scared that I was going to miss the South African toiletries. As in, like, I needed, so I took like as much as I could. And then I remember making a folder for my dad. This is so dumb.
Yeah.
But I took the labels off the
Yes.
products.
Yes.
And I stuck them on paper.
Oh my God,
And I
yes.
described them exactly, like what, like not flavor, but like
Yeah.
what scent or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Like
Yes.
exactly what I used and exactly what I wanted. And I was like, if I ever need anything, just refer to the folder
Oh my
and
gosh.
buy it
So
for me and send it
organized.
over. Yes, because I was really
Perfect.
worried
Yeah.
about my toiletries for some reason. I was like,
Yes.
this is the stuff I use in my skin, and
Yeah.
what if
well,
I
when
don't
you're
find-
21, those are the pimple years.
Yes.
You're like, you cannot get a pimple abroad. That is travesty.
And you've done enough trial and error that you know what works for you. So if you have to
Time.
commit,
Yes.
I was like, I don't
Go
want
to
to
another
find
place,
new
yeah.
products now. So my dad had to refer to this folder and some food items, like everything
Yes.
that I loved from South Africa. I was like, if I ever need anything, refer, because then, so he didn't get me the wrong thing.
Yes.
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 Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. You're like, I'm prepared. Here I am.
My parents were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And now you were performing in India. You were doing improv,
Yeah.
right?
So,
What's the world like over there in terms of like just the scene?
Can I my observation, at least a little bit, I feel like Indian humor is quite similar to English humor. The sarcasm, satire, dryness, just by watching a lot of comics from India.
Who do you watch from India?
Well, you just notice like Verdas and even like
yeah.
Zarna Garg. I know she's been in America for quite a while, but you just, and then Shafi, he's from Bangladesh. Yeah. I just find it's close to like an English humor.
Here's the thing. India's comedy scene only started in 2009.
Okay.
You guys dominate YouTube.
Yes. So I'll tell you what happened was India, we started comedy, like there was obviously comedy before that, but there was a lot of one-man shows and a lot of their, like one-man shows. It wasn't like the traditional stand-up comedy. And then in 2008, 2009, stand-up comedy kind of came to India.
Okay.
And YouTube was also like all the social media platforms and also sort of started. So what happened is we started comedy and we immediately got online because we did both that started at the same time.
Yeah.
The combination of comedy and social media happened to be at the same time.
Yeah.
So it coincided and we just got online. And here's the thing, like I feel like we were doing a lot of I feel like Indian comedy is very influenced by American comedy.
Okay.
Because a lot of the new age stand-up comedians watched a lot of American comedians.
I get it. When I put my special out, I noticed a lot of my comments were coming over from India.
Yeah, so they consume a lot of American, I think, comedy and British as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like in the beginning it was very Western and very American and maybe British a little bit depending on like your humor. And then now, and it was very English and only English, and now I feel like India has found it's finding its voice in comedy and stand-up comedy. It's becoming more Hindi and more regional languages are popping up and becoming more popular. And I feel like stand-up comedy is in India is more veers towards more storytelling than like joke.
Oh yes, okay.
Yes.
I noticed that in like Edinburgh because of I feel like in the English comedy, or at least over in England, they also like that to have a story arc or more of a one-woman show kind of one-man show appeal, where we're just like we can have all stand-up comics that just have no arc.
No arc where you're like,
I can't do an arc.
And I look like a girl.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like,
no segues.
Like just joke. And I was like, that's different. I've noticed that.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like here, when you're doing stand-up, you're such at the mercy of the audience. And you notice it here in New York, even as opposed to like Los Angeles, where people do have a little bit more like characters, and it lends itself more to like a theatricality.
Go on a journey
so many
with
people,
the stand-up.
So many people are actors, you know?
Yes.
So... Yes.
Everyone's like doing a show reel on stage.
Yeah. Yes.
Auditioning.
Yeah. And now you do also acting as well, because I did see your web series with Suba Agarwal, who we adore.
Yes.
Adore her. What was it called? Mango?
A Downward Mango.
Downward Mango. Yes.
Yeah,
It's such fun. Now, what was your process like when you guys put that together? Was it just kind of fun brainstorming, or was it more based on?
Suba's a fucking demon.
Yeah, she's
like,
a workaholic.
Yeah, we're like, let's brainstorm and come up with ideas. And then like I met her and then we wrote the first episode. And she's like, all right, we're going to shoot this. I'm like, what? Like, what's happening right now?
That's
I thought
so
this would
great.
be like a 5-month process. Like within a month, we'd finish shooting the whole thing.
Wow.
I know, it was insane. I was like,
that's
wow,
great.
Suba is...
From soup to nuts to be able to put something together like
Yeah,
that.
it was
and
really
it's
cool.
like...
Like I met Suba like 5 years before. Because I would come to New York and I started off with improv comedy, and then I did stand up afterwards. And I always say like improv is like my love marriage, and stand up's my arranged marriage.
Oh yes, I love it. Yes, I love it.
You learn to love it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm not unhappy. This is working.
Yeah.
This is working.
Now, when doing improv in India, what was that scene like for you there? Was it like here? It's very much like a class. It's almost like a pyramid scheme in a way, where it's like you start kind of doing the classes.
And it was pretty newish here compared compare to stand-up. Like, stand-up's always been, like, around from vaudeville to Catskill.
Yeah, but
The
improv
history
was
of it,
very
but
much
improv
like
is, like,
80s.
70s and
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Late
the Second
70s, early
City.
80s,
Yeah.
Second City in Chicago.
From, like,
yeah.
Canada and then Chicago and then here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would still consider
Dark
improv
Code.
to be very newish in the comedy world.
Even in India, like Adam Dow from Seattle, he came and taught me improv in 2009.
wow.
And
Yeah.
that's when I started comedy through improv, and then I kind of became like, I got so interested in, and what I did was, improv was always separate to stand-up comedy. Even here, like, it's two different groups of people, and I remember thinking, I need to go to the stand-up side. Because that's where all the money is.
Yes, yeah.
The way I can make improv popular is if I get on the stand-up side.
Yes,
and so I made that jump. I pissed off all the improvisers, but I took improv with me to the stand-up side, and it kind of blew up
Yes.
because. And then we did shows on
Okay.
Amazon Prime Video. I got 2 improv specials. It became like my thing, improv in India.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't mention that in New York at all.
Oh, you don't?
Okay. Okay.
For-
There's a lot of, like, Michelle Wolf came back from an improv background originally.
Yeah, I know, but in terms of branding, I just want people to be like, Kaneez, stand up.
She's a stand-up.
yes.
She's not an
Because
improviser who's
yes.
doing stand-up.
Like
Yeah.
improv actor, stand up, like, it's just Kaneez stand up. Like,
Okay.
I just think it's a wise strategic move,
Yeah.
Branding.
not to
I
dilute my
hear
Yeah,
you.
yes.
No.
And then
You can't have 5
You can't.
things on your Instagram
I
profile.
think it's
You're
it's
Yeah.
confusing.
ultra multi-hyphenate. Yeah. Well, I have an improv background as well, actually.
fun.
Yeah, I started improv when I was in high school. I did a high school program with a local short-form improv theater called Comedy Sports. And they're like,
that's a
yes,
do
national
those,
Yes.
yeah.
thing.
And then I did, when I was in college, I did Second City in the summer in Chicago because I'm from Indianapolis. So I did that one summer. And then when I moved to New York, I did Upright Citizens Brigade. And for me, I was also always doing stand-up alongside of this and
Yeah.
also always doing my acting. So I really used it for me more as like like a means to an end.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a tool to help like with the stand-up, with the acting. And because I think I liked it so much in that way, just as like an extra thing.
Right.
Yes.
And I never was like, I can't see myself doing this as a career because the career path is kind of to go into teaching or to hope.
Correct. And that's what I did
you
in
know.
India. I was teaching improv.
Oh, were
Yeah.
you?
A
Yeah.
lot, yeah. But,
Yeah.
But man, there's no feeling like just the feeling of just creating something on the spot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
and
catching a
it's
wave
the flow state
or being
yeah.
in one.
state.
Yes.
That doesn't happen for me in
And
stand up. Maybe in crowd work.
Yes.
Yeah,
But I would
yeah.
also say, like, the funniest stuff that's made me laugh out loud the hardest is like ASCAT at
Yes.
UCB on Sundays than most stand up. Because most
Yes.
stand up, I'm like, I've already kind of seen this idea done before. This
Yeah.
take is not new to me. Where like improv, it's
The synergy
That
is
is a thing.
and
You're
the
never
group
gonna see it,
mind
and it's
working
never gonna be
together,
recreated.
It's otherworldly because especially when you go to those UCB shows and you see people working, like those people are just such highly skilled performers.
Yeah.
Where it's like you see like doing like stand up where you're doing it night after night after night, but just building that skill
Yeah.
from just making it up night after night after night. It's
Yeah.
like really
Skill.
wild.
No, but the only thing with improv is like bad improv is really bad.
It's the
Yes,
worst.
yeah, yeah.
It's the worst. Like bad
I think I've
stand-up.
done some. I think I've done some.
I've held people hostage before.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But bad stand up is still like watchable, but bad improv is just like what the fuck is happening. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And I think
such
that's
a
what
sunk
happens.
cost it's like a sunken cost to get to that level.
Yes.
And that's why ultimately it becomes kind of unsustainable, I think,
Exactly.
because it's so specified.
And you can't guarantee
yeah.
like whatever you paid for is gonna pay off. You know,
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
At least there's some guarantee.
I do
Yeah.
think having an improv background helps write better because you explore
Yes.
more avenues.
For sure.
Yeah.
I improvise scenes while I'm writing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'll
yes,
play
there
out
you
the
go.
scene in my head because like that's where my comedy comes from. When
Yeah.
I'm like playing out a scene.
Yes, just to be able to access that flow state
Yes.
and circumnavigate this the inner critic, which is like I think can be challenging when you write where you're like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Scratch
Yeah.
it out,
It allows you to go down avenues, and then you also, I would assume, you just understand the game more.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
game,
Crowd
yeah,
work.
the whole
It's ready
point.
for like a yes and audience members. Like
Yes.
I actually improvise with them. They don't know it.
They do. It's a better way to handle hecklers
Yes.
that way. Is
Yeah.
instead of saying no to them, let them drown themselves out.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The way to handle all men.
Just Yes, and
Lady
them.
Journey.
Yes, and them.
So now you've been in New York a year.
Mm-hmm.
To tell us about your move to New York. Tell us like everything. What?
Where'd you move to?
Where'd you move to? What's the first year been like?
Was it one suitcase?
Yes.
What did you
Oh.
bring down? Because I did my move here when I was 30.
Oh, from
Texas. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
not a huge difference, but I would say it was liberating
Yes.
moving here.
to start from scratch.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I just
Yes.
that was I bought so I went to South Africa before. I went to South Africa for a year before I came here because my parents adopted my cats and I had to take my cats from
Yes.
India
yes.
to Cape Town and then
Oh.
so I didn't. Yeah, I know. And they've
Kitties.
really
I know.
bonded and
Oh,
it's beautiful.
that's nice.
My-
That's very sweet.
My parents initially were like, "We don't want to look after your cats." I was like, "You will look after your grandchildren. I don't try and make it in New York."
Yes. And then you sent them like the little folder of all of their products.
Yes, I know. And I was like, "This is what they eat." And
I love it. I love it.
my dad's like, "They're ours now. We'll do whatever we want."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, you will feed them this food." So I came with one bag, and then I had all my stuff in India. So I sold all my furniture. I sold my car. Like I was like, I'm shutting shop.
Wow.
Like, I shut shop.
Oh, that's my fantasy, I think. To just get
Yeah.
rid of
To just
everything.
shut I know. And then I had some stuff, and I randomly got my friends to send stuff over to
Yeah.
America, like in
Okay.
boxes.
Yeah.
And then one of them sent my frames with a really cheap courier, and they all broke.
Oh, bummer.
That
I love my
happens.
frame
Bummer.
collection.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyway.
what are you gonna
What
do?
was when you got here and acclimated? What was one of your first purchases to get back into? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
like
you've
decorating
settled,
from
and now
scratch.
it's time
Like,
to
what do you
like your
build the
life
room
is
around?
starting.
Yeah.
I know, because I got my apartment, which was so expensive in Long Island City.
Yes.
Gorgeous
but
area, but
it's-
yes,
yeah, but
it
I
is
moved
pricey.
now, and I'm so happy.
Oh,
I
so where are
moved
you?
to
Yeah.
Ridgewood.
Oh, I love
We
Ridgewood.
love Ridgewood.
Lovely.
I live
Yes.
there.
I'm
Gorgeous.
paying
neighborhoody.
$1,300 less, and I have a
Thank
massive
God.
apartment.
Oh,
Yes.
good. And I'll tell you what, they have a lot of really incredible Polish food. They have Italian food. They have
Yep.
Italian groceries, like Ridgewood, and they have also like a lot
Amazing.
of hip coffee spots too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's such a
I
great
love
neighborhood.
That area. My
Oh,
landlord's
good.
Polish. I live in a Polish building. I'm
Yes.
the only non-Polish person in my
I
building.
love it. I love it. I was at the Ridgewood Y where like everything is in Polish at the Y. You're like, wow, this is.
Sorry, what's the Y?
The YMCA.
Oh, YMCA.
Yes,
okay.
the gym. Yeah, so it's.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. The great classes there. They had a Pilates yoga. Oh my god!
I didn't know that was
my
a hybrid.
God,
Yeah,
yes.
neither did
Yeah,
I.
It'll
I
kick
had
your
no
ass.
idea.
So now, okay, yes. When you got here, what was your
moved.
first purchase? Like, what were you thinking? Like, I'm going to build the decor around this.
Yeah,
You know.
so then it would be like my standing mirror, my floor mirror.
Yes.
Oh, a
I
floor
bought
mirror.
a floor mirror. It had like a golden rim, and then I was like, I've never done gold before. So like
Yeah.
in India, it was very wood, a lot of wood, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I've never really done gold before. I don't know if it's my vibe, but then I
Yeah.
designed everything around it, and a little Instagrammy, but it worked.
That's a good purchase because
Yeah.
the only stand-up mirrors that I get are the ones that are cracked that are left on the street.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That
where you're
one.
like,
That's cool.
bed bugs can't get in there.
Yeah.
Well, we had did I tell this story on the pod
But that's
before?
a really good purchase.
Yeah, I
It's-
thought so.
Could be a
Sounds
centerpiece
gorgeous.
and
It's
it's
my
useful.
centerpiece.
Centerpiece.
thing
You
in
need
my
to know what
house.
you look like before you walk
I
out.
was like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's
this is, I'm gonna
important.
become a star here.
Yes.
Because I need a
Yes.
mirror.
You can do
Oh
your
my
affirmations
gosh.
into it.
Yes.
It's a wishing well.
The mirror was a good purchase.
It's a
Yeah.
portal.
a floor mirror. I have to say, like, absolutely
mirror.
essential.
Yeah.
And what a great thing to design everything around.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a floor mirror, and Mike knocked it over in the middle of the night, and it broke everywhere.
Yeah, we just did that
Yeah.
to
Isn't
the,
that
our
like-
upstairs one.
Yeah.
To the nice one.
I
Isn't
know.
that 7 years of bad luck?
7
or
years bad
something?
luck. Well, I
Is it?
I
It
looked
is, but I don't abide to that.
because I looked into
Superstition.
the heritage of that superstition, and it was because your hand mirror would be very expensive, and it was a caution against another girl breaking your hand mirror for a reason of maliciousness. So it was like, don't break my hand mirror. You'll have 7 years bad luck, Elzebub.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I know how you are.
Your medieval girlfriend or whoever her name is.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
Yeah.
a nice way to make, like, we should do, like,
More superstitions?
Yeah.
To control people?
to
Yeah,
control
yes, yeah.
people so that they don't, like,
Don't talk
backstab
shit about
you.
me, otherwise a cat will scratch you.
Exactly. Oh, you won't get a special.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very into superstition as I
They're fun. They're
I love a
fun.
fortune.
fun.
I love a fortune.
I didn't know this one. In certain cultures, leaving your purse on the floor is bad luck.
Oh my god!
Because I would do it, and then I
My
worked
bag's
with.
on the floor.
Don't worry about
Get
it.
it. Well, I know. I love these TikTok videos that are like, it's like you bring the hook with you everywhere, and you like clamp it to the restaurant table, and then you hang your handbag. It's like, I do not have the confidence for that to be like, make way, everyone. My Birkin's coming through. My TJ Maxx ripoff is coming to the table. Now, so you're loving Ridgewood. You love the new space.
I love Ridgewood. I love New York.
Okay.
I love it
yes.
here, although I am struggling.
Yeah.
Welcome.
It
will never end.
That's the New York lifestyle.
I guess. So I just, coming from India, like Touchwood, I think I was spoiled. I don't know. Like we were the original, like first comedians, and like we just had a lot of opportunities
Yes.
come to us. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to America, and they're going to love me. And then
Yeah.
It's a hierarchy
brown
here that
comedian.
makes no sense.
Sorry?
It's a hierarchy here that makes no sense. It usually says, I just usually say, it's just time.
It's time.
It's
but
just people
also-
getting to know you. That's all it is.
Which is, and the comedy community's been amazing. Like everyone's so lovely and sweet. And I also
Good.
believe like now in today's day and age, like there's you have a lot more agency.
Yeah.
Like with social media.
Absolutely.
There's no
There's
gatekeeping.
no gatekeepers. Like there's really no, like you can blow up and you don't need to go through any club or any late night show.
You can,
to
don't
get
even
there.
have to leave your couch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like
perfect.
I love that there's no gatekeepers.
Yes.
And that we don't have to go through this like
No.
tier system.
But I will say though, like
It's
the
tiring.
struggle though, struggling, like that is the ethos of New York.
It's a struggle of like
It's
like money
such-
and
yeah,
like finding the right thing. I don't know, like
and it's kind of the magic of the city where you're like,
Yes.
oh my god, I'm so busy.
yeah.
Like, out of the way. I'm tired. I'm so tired.
And that's fine.
Okay, don't worry about that. That was nothing.
That
That was nothing.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah. Go.
we just put a
She
superstition
left her handbag on the
them.
ground. But when you moved to New York, because I used to tour guide New York City. That was one of my day jobs, and I
cool.
love like New York. Like, what's like your first thing that you fell in love with the city? Like, be it like a restaurant where you're like, I'm obsessed with this place, I have to go there, or like, was there a site that was like so magical for you?
So magical. I remember when I came here in 2015 because I came to improv courses at Magnet and UCB.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it was the only improv that survived the pandemic.
The Magnet. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything
They-
else shut down.
Everything else shut down. Magnet Theatre still. They're
They're
still afloat.
thriving.
Yeah.
Isn't that Horatio Sands Theater?
Was he from Magnet?
I thought that
No.
he had
Magnet
founded
was always
it.
cool
No.
because they weren't.
Armando was.
Yeah, Armando.
Oh, Armando.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'm like,
No.
oh, of course.
And
I think it was
Michael.
Alfred. I
The
think it was
Armando.
Alfredo.
Well, that was a
Armando.
style of improv,
Cindy.
the Armando.
Exactly. It was a whole format. The
Yes.
Armando that he he didn't invent it. It kind of just came. It started because of him.
Yes.
Apparently, he did something on stage, and everyone thought it was funny, and then they created a
All around
format
that.
around it.
Yes. But the
Um,
Magnet's always been really more open. You could come and go from the other theaters and they wouldn't give you shit about it. Where UCB and I think the Pit could be quite,
Anal
you
about
couldn't perform at the other theaters.
Oh.
Kind of stuff.
I didn't know
Protective.
that.
Okay.
Territorial.
This was like in 2015.
Oh,
when I
interesting.
came.
They were
Yeah.
more open. You could
Yeah.
go to the Magnet and work with other people there. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. We're pro-magnet.
Pro Magnet.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got there.
So you come in 2015.
Yes,
And you're doing your classes and you're out and about.
I was staying in
Yeah.
this place called Carroll Gardens in Brooklyn.
Love
a good
Carroll
one.
Gardens.
And I fell in love with that
Gorgeous.
area, and I was like, one day, if I ever move to New York, I'm gonna buy a house in Carroll Gardens. And I'm
Yes.
gonna live
Oh my
there.
gosh.
That's
So
a good
that-
goal.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
actually the goal at the end is to buy
beautiful.
maybe a whole brownstone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Or like, I love a garden apartment in that
Yeah,
neighborhood too. You have the
yes.
beautiful green space.
Yes.
And
There's something about that area. Even like even when I go back now, like since I moved, I'm just like I still love it.
Yes.
I still love it.
it is so picturesque. I
Yes.
worked for years in Brooklyn Heights, which was like the first suburb of New York. So it was like developed. So it's like Carroll Gardens is just a little bit south of Brooklyn
Right,
Heights,
right.
right? So Brooklyn Heights has like all these old ancient buildings and all these beautiful
Cobblestone kind of
Yes,
some places.
such a beautiful vibe. But I actually babysat for a family that lived in Carroll Gardens, and they had a brand new renovated brownstone that they had fixed up.
Like how many stories?
Oh my God. Well, I think they had the top 3 stories, and the bottom 2 were a different family. So they didn't have the whole thing, but it was like, it was just exquisite. It was like one of those places where it has like heated floors in the bathroom.
Oh, the detail.
Oh my goodness. Luxury. And they had like a tiny like garden on the roof.
Oh, see, that's
Yeah.
the dream.
So lovely.
That's my New York dream.
Oh, Carroll
Yes.
Gardens.
Carroll
Absolutely gorgeous neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so much good shopping over there. I lived in Borum Hill as well, like briefly,
That's
but
a
they
good
have
one too.
Borum Hill is so gorgeous, but they have like so many like along Atlantic Avenue where you have like little bake shops, like one cake, one girl cookie, like all the little coffee shops, all the little like Sahadi's is over there, which is like I think it's like a Middle Eastern like goods store, like dry goods, all that delicious stuff over there. Oh my God, yummy. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So
Yeah, Carroll Gardens.
That's the dream.
Now, is there a place in New York that reminds you of home? Just because I feel like New York has
we are so eclectic here. Yeah.
Very eclectic.
No, for sure. So the other day I was missing Indian food. Like when I first came, like a few months.
What's a good Indian restaurant
like
in New York?
Food in America.
Is it too Americanized?
Yeah.
No, it's too. Yeah, I haven't found a restaurant that I like. I know poor like Lingon and Kunal keep taking me to different restaurants.
You're like, not yet.
It's like a whole joke because they're like, Kaneez isn't gonna like anything we take. They're right. I don't like anything. Sorry, Kunal.
I'm so fascinated by this because I've always wondered that because I like Indian food, but then sometimes I'm like, am I just getting the American version where I'm like, all I like is chicken masala, where I'm like, I feel like that's the introductory.
It's not the flavor is not bad, but the produce, the produce is not like that's my issue.
That's what my mom says about fruit. She's like, it doesn't taste as sweet or fruity as it.
Like the fruit and vegetables in India and South Africa are just so good.
Yeah,
the produce is amazing.
I feel like we have so much GM,
genetically
modified stuff
like
here.
I stopped
that
eating chicken here.
Oh,
I was like, this doesn't taste like chicken. I don't know what this tastes like.
It's hormones.
Yes.
Like it
I know a lot of people that were like, they can't have dairy here, but then like when they go abroad, they're like, Katie Boyle was telling me that she's Irish, and she was saying like, I cannot have dairy here, but somehow when I go to Ireland, I can have it. I'm fine.
Oh,
yeah.
That's my favorite thing to notice. Like when I went to Ecuador and we went grocery shopping, I was like, why is there milk at room temperature here?
Oh yeah. It's like, well, they don't need to keep it from spoiling because it's not 8 weeks old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like stuff like that would be fascinating to me. I'm like, apparently I was told in America we like to refrigerate a lot my necessarily need to be refrigerated.
During the pandemic, my girlfriend got she had chickens.
Yeah.
And she was eating the eggs of the chickens, and she gave some to me, and she was just keeping them out. She was like, "You don't refrigerate these,
they
by
have
the way."
You see, like in a lot of baking shows, cooking shows, you see like a bowl with eggs in it. People always have eggs on their counter.
They have eggs.
It's not in the fridge. It's on the counter.
Yes.
On the countertop.
That's where it belongs.
Yeah, apparently.
And I would like to say that my friend's eggs were killed by her chickens were killed by a weasel.
Oh no!
I know, recently. So sorry about that. R.I.P. She named the chickens such funny names too. They were named like after female authors, but punny. Like she had one that was called like it was like Louise May Alcluck. So it was like a chicken,
clever.
it was like that kind of.
How many did she have? 5.
She had 4.
And the weasel ate all of them?
It ate all of them. Well, apparently one had been being bullied by the others. Classic women. And so that one had
told the chickens about the superstition.
Yeah.
Like maybe she would have stopped.
Yes.
Stop
it, girls. Well, so one had kind of like taken ill after it had been shunned. And then the weasel got the other 3. Yeah.
That happens in chicken coops, right? Like,
yes.
There's always one.
Yeah. Well, she lives outside of New York, so it's like there's things.
Yes.
Yeah, there's little, animals out there, and they're running rampant. So you haven't found the Indian restaurant yet? No.
Not yet. But I did find like Indian like stores, and I bought Indian food. And then the other day I was looking for an apartment, and I was crying because I couldn't find one.
That's really hard.
A New York moment.
I had
crying.
I was bawling. I was like, why the fuck did I move here? And I was like looking at I was in like Lexington, Upper East Side, and looking at apartments there with my budget, and I was like, I'm gonna kill myself in one of these apartments.
Yeah.
And then I walked past, and I was walking crying, and then I walked past a South African restaurant.
Ooh, yum.
I was so excited.
Yeah.
And I went and ordered like something called sampan beans. I don't know if you know what sampan beans are. Well,
I've been Americanized Most of my life has been here.
Yeah.
I am aware. My mom used to make a dish called bubuti.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a sweet meat with an egg custard on top, like a weird or different kind of cottage pie in a weird way.
That's a very, like in Cape Town, they have a lot of babuti.
Yes, and a lot of meat. I got a good South
meat.
African cookbook. They just went.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, but I look at some of the ingredients. I'm like, I don't know what this is, and I don't know where to get it.
Like kudu meat.
Yes.
It's a buck. It's a type of buck.
Wow.
But yes, I went to South African restaurant. I got some biltong, which is like dried.
We love
jerky,
that.
But
that's part of our family culture is eating biltong.
Oh, there we go. Where do you get biltong from here?
We've
Sorry.
sometimes
no, that's okay. Please go.
It's beef jerky, really, the equivalent of it.
But beef jerky is like very processed, and this is like just cut dried meat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it sounds delicious.
But we had a biltong maker in our house, which was just like a cardboard box with a lighting source.
Okay.
And we had that in our.
It would dry it out.
Yeah, it was dried out, and we'd buy a specific kind of beef for it.
I want to go to this restaurant.
Where?
What was it named?
I don't remember the name.
I bet I can find it.
But it was really good food.
There was one in Brooklyn. There's a
Madiba, but that shut down.
Did it really?
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. A lot of places.
I went to that as well when I came to like years ago.
Yes.
And then when I came back here, I was looking for it because there's still some South African products that I really love.
Yes.
That I still use. And I remember them having it, but it's shut down.
Yes.
But this place is open. Did you find
well, they said it was on the Upper East Side, right?
Yeah. Around like,
okay,
I want to
say
maybe 80th and Lexington or something.
Let's see.
Well, I know that when I first moved here, there was a place. It's not really South African, but it was just an Australian meat pie place called the Tuck Shop.
Oh my
Where
God,
is it?
yum!
And they would. It used to be on near St. Mark's, and that closed down. That's the bummer of New York restaurants. It's like they only survive for a little bit.
Right.
I know it could be your favorite restaurant. You're like, well, 2 years later, it's gone.
Yeah.
There are so many on here, but I can't.
South African restaurants?
I think a lot of these actually are not South African. Like this is Middle Eastern.
But we ate a lot
of those.
I felt like South African cuisine was quite a mixture of a lot lot of backgrounds.
That's the thing. Like
we ate a lot of curries, like Malaysian curries.
Because a lot of Cape Malay, like a lot of Malaysians went to the Cape, and then so a lot of the food's influenced by.
Was it Kaya Wine
Malaysia.
Bar?
Yeah.
Kaya, yes.
Kaya Wine Bar.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what a fun
Shout
place
out.
to go.
It was
Destination
really
restaurant in the
nice.
city. It looks gorgeous.
Oh, the food was so good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my God, beautiful.
I liked. Like it reminded me of home.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh,
Yeah.
this food looks amazing. I want to go there.
I feel like a lot of people aren't familiar with like South African cuisine.
So that's the thing. Like, and that thing. When I went to South Africa last year, I was telling the comedians, I was like, South Africa doesn't have a cuisine, and they got so upset with me. And I was like, they're like, we have, and then they named like 6 dishes, and I was like,
That's
6 dishes is not a cuisine.
Yes, yeah.
Like in terms of like, when I think about South African food, I'm like, I don't know what the flavor profiles are.
I don't know either. I feel
don't
like
know
it's a
what-
lot of spices, but it's from different backgrounds,
That's
so
the
it's
thing.
not
Like
really.
Indian South Africans have like bunny chow, which is curry in a loaf of bread.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Like the loaf of bread is like the vessel for the
Oh,
curry. and
bread
then you
bowl.
just- it's
Oh,
so
love a
good.
bread
And then you
bowl.
peel off the bread and dip it in.
Oh
it's
my gosh,
so
that sounds
hungry.
good.
So good.
What I gathered a little bit, it was like a lot of it's based around meat or beef.
Yes, lots of meat.
Yeah.
Like everyone's cooking, stewing meat. Like
Yeah.
meat's always being stewed.
I love
One
that.
dish
Yes.
or another. You're
That's-
right.
Oh my
the one
gosh.
thing I've noticed. I felt like that when
Love the meat.
like when you hear about like what's the South American where they're all into steaks. Churrasco.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
kind of it felt very similar in that aspect where like
I don't know Churrasco.
it's just kind of a kind of way of preparing a steak.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
got it.
I forgot. I think it's Brazilian.
Yeah,
Brazilian,
like Brazilian
steakhouse.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like a whole.
It reminded me of that, not same flavor base, but it was
No,
like,
yeah, 'cause
God,
they have
very
braais,
beef,
right?
Yeah.
They have a lot of people braai, which is barbecuing, but
Oh,
Yes.
we say we
yum.
call it braai.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
Well, it's kind of like America in a way. It means like we don't really have our own cuisine here. Even like a hamburger, it's like, well, that
Right.
is French. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
sandwiches are British. You know, so we just kind of
Yes.
we have so many influences here. But then it's like, well, I guess hot dogs. I don't know. Is that it? Is that our food? Is that our food?
Also, like the thing with America, though, it's like there's indigenous, like the indigenous, like people who like their food would be American food.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Yes.
like the Three Sisters, corn, beans, and
Yeah, that
rice.
could be
Yeah,
American
yeah,
food.
yes.
Everything else is just whatever people from immigrants brought over.
Yes, just
Exactly.
like
Everything
a
else is
hodgepodge.
influence,
Yeah,
Yes.
But
definitely.
I guess American food would be what the
Yeah.
American Indians would eat.
Yes.
yeah.
Technically,
Yeah,
yes.
technically
And like
that would be
tortillas and stuff, you know, over there.
Yeah, a little more
over
of
in
like
Texas, which I
Southwest.
love a tortilla. I love nachos.
I love American food. I love tortillas. I'm an American food connoisseur.
No, Kaneez, I was so excited when you came today because we are going to talk a bit about colors, and you have such a gorgeous, beautiful. I was like, oh my god,
and your
hot
eyeshadow
pink.
is impeccable.
Your
Really?
eyeshadow,
I like your
gorgeous.
eyeshadow.
No, I just
yes,
it's
it's subtle,
Oh,
but
I love
it's
it.
good.
And I was
It's
like,
gorgeous.
I'm really into it.
For summer, I'm like, let's be sparkly.
I
Yeah.
absolutely colors are so exciting. I've been really into this sage color. I've seen it all over fashions. I'm trying not to buy stuff right now because of fast fashion and global warming.
Is
But
this the color?
yes, it's like
Yes.
that.
This
It's
one?
like that shade, or even like a touch lighter. I'm seeing it. It's in everything. So that's kind of my new favorite color right now. What color are you obsessed with right now? What do you think?
So I've been obsessed with this color for 3-4 years now. I love my reds. I usually wear reds on camera. It really makes me pop.
Reds are good on
But
camera.
I'm
Yes.
obsessed with I want to say coral. So it's
Love it.
more pinkish.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I know
this
what you
but a
mean.
little more pinkish.
Oh,
I feel
I
like
love it.
there's something about that color that I'm just drawn to that color. My
Yes.
home's filled with that color for some
Yes.
reason.
So
I just
beautiful.
saw a
It's
nail
almost-
polish that was I was watching Birds, Alfred Hitchcock, and Tippi Hedren was wearing a coral nail polish, and I was like, oh, I'm going to bring that back.
Yes,
Yes.
something about that color makes me feel very feminine.
It is a
It's-
very feminine
It's
color.
very
Yeah.
feminine, and it's
Yes.
neutral enough that you feel like it doesn't change the mood
Correct.
too much.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
You're not like, oh, here comes
Skinny.
Here I am. Yeah. I love that.
You sure are.
An electric blue.
Yes, yes. What's your favorite color, Sarah? What's your color that you're doing?
I
now?
always stick to, I like a light pink, or I actually really like
yes.
pastels, like a sky blue makes me happy.
Oh my God.
Spring stuff.
Pastels.
But I don't know if that's my color palette. We've been talking about
Yeah.
color palettes, and every time I try to do that test, I'm like, I can't.
I don't know.
I can't
It's
tell.
it's very tricky. I was told by the internet
This was
that
controversial.
The
like
internet, it must
anything
be
like
true.
mauve or dusty tones, like which are my favorite. I love mauve. I love a darker lavender, almost like a gray blue. But
Mhm.
it said no.
Sorry, I'm just grabbing something because my
Yes.
friend, who's a comedian in India, Sejal Bhatt, she's
Oh,
amazing.
shout out.
Shout out to Sejal. She actually just sent me a few days ago what she thinks my color palette should be. We discussed
Oh, I love this.
Oh,
I
nice.
love this.
And she was like autumn shades.
Oh, and you're in there. Is that a bold
Yes.
autumn? That's my palette
So
too.
That
Autumn
color is
shades.
very flattering.
Yeah, those
Yeah, but-
jewel tones are gorgeous.
But those autumn she reckons something deeper than this will look even
Okay.
better on me.
Mm,
apparently.
yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
I've
So-
gotten that as well.
The
Although
autumn tones.
I like greens. I really am into greens lately. I think like
Yes.
a pop of green, or
An
actually
emerald.
like a mustard on me
Yeah.
looks great. But I would never. I'm like, ugh, I don't like that.
A sorry, guys. We're
chartreuse.
pointing at colors you guys can't see.
You
Yes.
can, and you'll never see
And you'll
them.
never-
We won't show you them.
Now, as much as everyone knows, I love a fortune. So I have prepared something fun to tell what your favorite color says about you.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay.
I love this.
Yes. So I guess
So,
this is
my two colors are just so you know, forest green.
Okay.
I'm tending towards that a lot.
Yes.
And this coral pink.
okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna do green for you. I'm gonna do green. People who love green are loyal and supportive. If you're drawn to the color green, emotions likely rule your world. Okay, rude. You're unhinged.
You don't know me. You don't know me.
You're a woman. You're not afraid of being vulnerable, but you do a good job of reining in those negative thoughts. They know that no men are reading this, I guess. Best of all, people who love green are loyal and supportive, which is why they make great friends. Oh, if someone in your life has an obsession with the color green, keep them close.
Oh my God.
That's a good one.
That's a great.
Yeah.
I love that. And so, Sarah,
What
for
website is
that's
this?
very sweet. I don't know. It's called colormeanings.com. And I think it's legit.
Okay.
The first one on the Google search.
Yeah, yes. They have incredible SEO. That's how I know that their fortunes are true. Now, Sarah, you got blue, and again with these,
blue.
it's like always a toss up because I did not read these ahead, and one could be like, and you're a cunt.
I knew it.
But like, it's just blue in general, like light blue. We're not being very specific.
I know this does not differentiate between shades.
Okay, fine.
I know, which I find to be a red flag. It's a different colored flag.
Or a crimson fact.
Yes, a light red, light violet. From global appeal to its classic look, blue is beloved by many. If you're keen on this hue, you're more likely to you're in tune with the universe. Ooh. Spiritual, and you're connected with deeper, more powerful presence. And you possess artistic aptitude. Thank you, Lady Journey.
I knew it.
It is soaring for a reason. And you're highly imaginative and fond of creative expression. Okay. And you're charming, friendly, and emotional.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I like the third one is charming, friendly, and your emotions are running wild.
They all end with you're very emotional.
And you're a lot.
Oh my God.
Basically, if you're looking this up, you're emotional.
Yes. Because you're trying to find answers.
Yeah.
It's like when I went
spiraling.
When I went to the fortune teller at the Comedy Cellar holiday party, and I sat down, and she immediately said, "You're very superstitious." I was like, "How did you know?" It's because I'm getting my fortune told. Mine is purple. Much like the color itself, those who love purple are intriguing, lovely, and down to earth. Okay, that's not true.
All right, that's all we have time for, guys.
Things. And shut it down. Purple lovers are also private and keep things close to the vest. Ooh. That's true. I'm kind of private, except for on here where I tell all of my thoughts. They are scared to open up and let people in. There's nothing wrong with this, but it can rub others the wrong way. You may be hard to understand, but you have no issue with that. To combat your negative traits, you lead with light and love. Okay, kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, I know. It's like
all over the place.
Yeah.
It didn't end with but thank God you have emotions. Oh.
To combat your negative traits, you lead with light and love. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Positive in the end.
There's enough positive that is not going to cause me to look it up later.
Just
to check in. What was that it said about me?
We'll take it.
Oh my gosh. What a fun episode.
That's so cool.
I adored this.
Yeah, I like it. I want to go on y'all's next Indian food journey.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I want to go. I want to go to that South African restaurant. It looked gorgeous.
Yeah, I'll go there.
We should go there. Do you mind if we shoot a
gosh.
vlog as well?
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah. We'll vlog.
A white lady trying South African food for the first time. I'm like, what is this? Oh my gosh. No, this is one of our... Oh, sorry, I went there. No, you've been absolutely lovely. Let us know where.
Where can find you?
Where can our wonderful people look you up and see everything?
Please, follow me on Instagram. My handles are all at Kaneez Surka, my name, and I guess check out my website. Everything's on my website. www.Kaneez Surka.
And we'll tag you in all the posts.
We'll tag you in everything. Check out Mango Spiral.
Downward Mango.
Downward Mango. Thank you.
That's the sequel.
Oh my gosh. And if you're on our Patreon, check out our latest bonus with Kaneez on it coming up later. So thank you everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe.
Lady Jenny.